On Sunday, we will find out which two teams will be playing in Super Bowl 58 as the AFC and NFC championship games will go down. Joining me to preview Championship Sunday is the founder and CEO of uSTADIUM, my guy, Frankie Vittorini. Frankie, what is going on? You ready for some Sunday football?
Dexter, it's the best football of the year, my man.
There you go.
Tomorrow, we will see it all. We'll see the two best in each conference, and I am pumped. Let's get it.
Let's get it. All right, Frankie, let's get right into it because the AFC Championship game features two of the best, if not the two best quarterbacks in the sport, as Patrick Mahomes faces off with Lamar Jackson. Which of these two quarterbacks has more to gain on Championship Sunday? Is it Lamar Jackson or is it Patrick Mahomes?
Hey, man, I've been thinking a lot about this throughout the week, and I think it's on Lamar. I think it's time for Lamar Jackson to prove to the world, to prove to all of his haters when he was drafted, to prove to everyone that he is the guy, that not only is he going to be a two-time MVP winner, but he's also going to be someone that can lead you to the Super Bowl and potentially win the Super Bowl. All comes down to Lamar. Patrick Mahomes has proven that he's been able to win multiple Super Bowls. He's proven that he's one of the best quarterbacks, not only of today's game, but all time. I think it's time for Lamar to put himself in the conversation where people may think he's, an 8 to 12 quarterback, maybe right outside the top 5, to being one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And they're ready. I mean, they're prime. They have one of the best defenses in the game, and their offense is very much predicated on what Lamar does. So it's going to come down to him. I think all of the pressure is on his shoulders tomorrow. He's got to make it happen.
All right, going with Lamar Jackson there. I want to ask you about Patrick Mahomes because does he need to deliver another all-time great performance in order for Kansas City to pull off the upset of Baltimore? And I think another part of this for Patrick Mahomes is, does he have enough weapons to do so?
Great question, man. I think he does. I think we have to see an all-time performance out of Patrick Mahomes. That Baltimore defense is able to shut you down in the middle of the field, so I don't know if Kelsey's going to be able to be as effective as he usually is. Mahomes is going to have to depend on Rashee Rice and some of those receivers, MVS, and he's going to have to get them the ball, and they're going to have to make plays. But he's going to have to put the ball perfectly for some of those guys because they don't have the best receiving core, quote unquote, in the game. They've been struggling a lot on the outside, and Baltimore is susceptible with their corners, Marlon Humphrey being hurt, and their other corners, they sort of switch in and out, their second and third and nickel guys. So I want to see, is Mahomes going to be able to put it on the numbers, as they say, and will the receivers be able to make plays? So I think Mahomes is going to have one of his better performances. Also scrambling, he's going to have to make things happen. You know how Patty likes to do it. So I'm curious to see how he's going to play, but he's going to have to put together a game on all facets because I don't know if Kelsey's going to be as available as he usually is across the middle of the field.
It's going to be interesting to see Mahomes. We know what he can do. Can those receivers catch those balls? We will see on Championship Sunday. Now, Baltimore is the top seed in the AFC. They had some impressive wins over good competition this year. What is the key to the Ravens advancing to Super Bowl 58? Is it their offense or is it their defense?
Man, I think it all comes down to the offense. I think it all comes down to how many points can Lamar Jackson and their receiving core and their tight end with Mark Andrews coming back, how many points can they all put together? Because I don't think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think they'll go back and forth. It'll come down, I think, the second half, which team has the ball last, potentially, and who's going to be able to score. The Ravens need to score tomorrow. They need to score 27-plus points to have a chance to win this game. How is Lamar Jackson going to play against another top 5 defense in the game in Kansas City? They're going to be bringing him pressure. Spags is going to be dialing up some interesting stuff on that side of the football. So I want to see, how does Lamar deal with all this pressure and that offense? How are they going to deal with the Kansas City defense? So it's going to be an interesting game, but it comes down to the Baltimore offense. If they can put up 27-plus, I trust enough in their defense to not have Mahomes, run Rashad and drop 34 on you. They got to score tomorrow. Baltimore's offense, they got to score more than Kansas City.
Got to get those points. I like that number 27 you have there. See if the Ravens can get that or more on Championship Sunday. Now, on the NFC side, we have the Lions. They're visiting the Niners. Look, we know Detroit can put up numbers on the board. Does their offense match up well with San Francisco's defense?
Yeah, you know what? What's interesting is Detroit's offense, they love to run the football, and San Francisco's not done a good job stopping the run. In 4 of their last 5 weeks, San Fran has actually allowed 100-plus rushing yards. Last week gave up 136. They're not the best rush D right now, San Fran. I don't even know what's going on with Nick Bosa. He hasn't had a sack, it feels like, in a month or so. Detroit's offense does match up well because they like to run the ball and they have a more methodical approach, but it's those big plays that Detroit's going to have. It's not turning the ball over. It's playing a slow and steady game, which San Fran wants to do, but a methodical game where you continuously run the ball, move it down the field, feature Laporta, Amon-Ra, and you're able to, score, which is the name of the game in the NFL today. So I want to see how mistake-free Detroit plays. And I think if they play mistake-free, Detroit has a legitimate shot to go to the Super Bowl. If they make mistakes, if Nick Bosa starts, getting after it and they force a few turnovers, might not be enough for Detroit's offense to overcome.
All right, Detroit's got to play mistake-free football here. That gives them a good chance to get to Super Bowl 58. We'll see how that all works out for them. Now, on the San Francisco side, Brock Purdy, despite leading a game-winning drive against the Packers in the divisional round, he had a shaky performance. Do the Niners need to make sure they get off to a good start and play ahead in this one?
I think so, man. I think so. I think if they're able to put up a quick few scores, they're able to go up 10-3 or even 14-10, let's say, and they're able to feel confident enough in Brock and that offense, then I think it'll open everything up. And I think it'll keep Detroit's defense, which is very good too, but it'll keep them a little off balance. Detroit likes to play a more aggressive style on D with players like Aiden Hutchinson and Gardner Johnson. They're going to want to take risks and try to force you into some bad decisions. But when you're up early, it's like you had a nice coffee in the morning. It kind of sets everything up. You kind of have a nice little day in front of you. So if Brock wants a little nice day in front of him, get up early, get a few scores, get the ball out to Kittle. We'll see if Debo plays. Go up early, and then you have room to maybe make a mistake or two. But if you don't go up early and you're pressed, then you start forcing, and that's how you get in trouble.
Yeah, you don't want to see that. San Francisco, they've always appeared as a team that they play better when they are ahead, not really designed to come from behind, so they don't want to get behind to the Lions in this one. All right, Frankie, here we go. Prediction time. Give me your picks. Who wins both of these championship games and why?
Oh, man. Last time I made predictions on your show, it's an utter failure.
You know what? We're not going to talk about that. We don't have to talk about it.
You have to tell Lee to burn those tapes. I don't ever want to see him.
I got Lee is on. Producer Lee is on it right now. He's on it.
You know what, man? I'm gonna switch one of my picks because I've been thinking about it all day, and in the last 30 minutes, I have switched my NFC pick. Before I get into the NFC pick, AFC, I'm going Kansas City. Patty, Andy, those are the guys. Both of them making cases to be top 5 in their respective category. Mahomes, quarterback, Andy Reid, head coach. I think they're just too damn good. Patrick Mahomes is too damn good. Andy Reid as a head coach is too damn good. I want Baltimore to win. I hope they win. I don't want to see Taylor Swift and all this chaos going on. I don't want to see it. I want the Ravens to win, but my head is telling me it's going to be Kansas City. So I got Kansas City out of the AFC. Out of the NFC, I've made a switch in the last 30 minutes, but I've been thinking about it back and forth. I'm going with Detroit. Motor City time, baby. Let's go. They got the draft coming up in Detroit, too. I got my draft hoodie on. So, I think it's Detroit's year. I just think they're feeling it a little bit. I think they're going to make some stuff happen. I love what Dan Campbell's done there. I don't trust Brock Purdy. He looked really bad the last couple weeks. I don't know. I just don't trust him with Debo down. I think Detroit gets after it. So I got Kansas City versus Detroit. And unfortunately, Mahomes just gets another one. And I just think that's how the cookie will crumble. I think Detroit gets there. They're not good enough to win it. I can't see Detroit winning the Super Bowl. It doesn't really make sense to me. But I can see them getting there. So I got Kansas City, Detroit, man.
Kansas City, Detroit playing for Super Bowl 58. Frankie Vittorini not betting against Patrick Mahomes. I can understand that. Believing in Detroit, a bit of a shocker for the people. I also will say I understand where you're coming from in the fact that you're not really trying to see Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl. I understand.
Unless I'm hanging out with her, then I don't mind seeing her. But if on camera, I'm good.
Understood. I get it. That is Frankie Vittorini, CEO and founder of uSTADIUM. Check him out there. Frankie, we're going to talk again. We're going to talk after these games and see what you think about who's going to the Super Bowl. People will see very soon if your picks were right, or maybe our producer Lee is going to have to burn this tape. We'll see. Thanks, Frankie.
Appreciate it, man. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.